Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Luther Family Ford. It is the April salute to law enforcement here at Luther Family Ford. My name is Steve Hallstrom. Glad to be here with you again with General Manager Brian Mosier and a whole bunch of the folks from the team here, as well as the honored guest today, Fargo Police Department. And we're very thankful, Chief Zabolski, for getting us together again today. And thanks to you and your team for coming over and hanging out with us here today. This is one of the things that we really enjoy doing at our media company, because I think every day, being in the news cycle as much as we are, we hear stories and we see examples of how important law enforcement is to our community. And Brian, I know that you share that as well, someone who was in law enforcement for a number of years yourself. Amazing what these men and women do for us and how much of a difference they make in our community.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we say this all the time, but we really, truly appreciate everything that you guys do. And you're out there taking care of us when we're sleeping, or you know, when our houses are unoccupied, and taking care of our stuff. So it's really a great thing that we can do, is just honor these men and women that are out there protecting us every day.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks very much, Brian. Always great to be over here with you and your team as well. So with that being said, it's time to meet this month's honoree, and I'm happy to introduce you this morning to Officer Ian Kristan. Let's give him a warm welcome and a round of applause as a congratulations for being honored here today. So Ian, I've got to ask you, what does it mean to you to be honored here and have all these people making a big fuss about you like this today?
It's a tremendous honor, but it wouldn't be possible without the team that I work with at Fargo PD and the support to the agency. But it's a tremendous honor.
Tell us who you have with you here today.
Absolutely. So my mom and dad were able to come out from Valley City to come and support, and then as well, obviously, Chief Zabolski, members of the Training and Development Unit, and then members of our executive staff and CID as well, our investigations division.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to have you all here. Thank you, welcome, and thanks for coming to hang out with us here for a little bit today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Ian, and then we'll ask him a few more questions here. But here's what we were provided from Chief Zabolski's team, and we thank them for helping us out with this description. Officer Ian Kristan hails from Mundelein, Illinois, a northern suburb of Chicago. Officer Kristan moved to Fargo to attend grad school at NDSU after graduating with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Bradley University. On May 13th, 2019, Officer Kristan was sworn into the Fargo Police Department and was assigned to the night shift, where he worked patrol from January of 2020 until November of 2021. During that time, Officer Kristan became an instructor for the Fargo PD, where he developed his passion for training and teaching fellow officers. In November of 2021, Officer Kristan was assigned to the Training and Development Unit as a full-time instructor for the department. Officer Kristan is self-motivated, hardworking, and dedicated to the team, always seeking new ways to improve training efficiency. Officer Kristan most recently played a key role in the research, planning, and implementation of a new training format for the department that allows officers to customize a part of their yearly training with the ability to focus on their individual career goals within the Fargo Police Department. In addition, Officer Kristan has played an integral role as one of the primary instructors in the Fargo Police Academy, providing foundational academy training for about 60 of the current officers. Lessons learned in the academy are remembered throughout a career, and Officer Kristan has made a profound impact in shaping the current culture of our department. On top of that, Officer Kristan also serves as a tactical operator on the Red River Valley SWAT team and is a member of the Fargo PD Wellness Committee. Officer Kristan's hard work and continued dedication exemplifies the department's core values of professionalism, officer wellness, and guardianship. Thank you, Officer Kristan, for all that you do for our community. So, Ian, I've got to ask you, when did you think about getting into law enforcement as a career? Was it something early in life, or did it kind of hit you maybe in your high school years?
Yeah, so in college I really began to think about the prospect of law enforcement, and the initial influence came from my father. He is a funeral director down in Illinois, and he's there for people on their worst days. So I wanted to do that same type of goal and mission, just in a little bit of a different way.
Yeah, good job, Dad. Good stuff there, yeah. So you do so many different things. It seems like probably no 2 days are alike. Tell me about the variety of your days and how much enjoyment you get out of that.
Absolutely. So working in the Training and Development Unit, we have a lot of different roles in a variety of projects, trainings, and different initiatives that our department does. And it can be one day of teaching at the academy to all of a sudden now we need to go on to a hiring and recruiting fair, speaking with new applicants, to sitting in on chief's interviews, and then also with the SWAT side of it, where all of a sudden we get a call out and it's time to go help serve the community and protect the community. So it's every day is different, and I love it.
Yeah, it sounds good. So tell me a little bit about the officer wellness piece of what you do and why that is important to you.
Absolutely. So the Wellness Committee looks at a wide variety of our pillars of wellness, whether it be financial, physical, spiritual, mental, all of the above, because it's an all-encompassing program to be able to provide resources and information and opportunities for officers to continue to grow in that regard of their profession. For a long time, it's been something that hasn't been put on the forefront of law enforcement, and we've seen the effects on officers, whether it's through suicide rates, divorce, alcoholism. So it's really trying to get out in front of that and provide officers with the tools and have them know that we are there for them to help support them through anything, so we can serve the community appropriately and be there for the long run.
Yeah, what a great description. Thanks for giving us some great detail on that. I want to ask you a little bit about the job that you have. It's a difficult job, certainly can be very challenging. You never know what the day is going to hold. It could be a very calm day or it could be a catastrophic day. You just never know. What's it like going to work every day knowing that you just have no idea what the day is going to give you?
Absolutely, and that's where we fall back on our training. The predecessors of the agency who helped train myself as I was coming up and through would always preach the level of professionalism and capability with our tools and our tactics, and really honing in on that and helping pass that message along so we're prepared for anything. I'm in an office setting or a classroom setting most of the time, so the people out on the street, our officers responding to those calls, making those split-second decisions, they're truly the ones who deserve all the credit with what they do. And just having the opportunity to be able to interact with them and help them in any way possible is one of the things that really gives me great pride in my current role.
Yeah, well, thanks for clarifying that. But behind all the people that are out on the street, there have to be people that are getting it done behind the scenes as well. So I'm sure that's a very important role. What are some of the things you try to impress upon young officers when they come in, as you now are kind of saying, hey, I've been in this now for a few years, and so here's what to expect. What kind of lessons do you try to impart on those young people coming in?
Absolutely. Just one of the main roles is obviously professionalism, being in a state of preparedness at all times, whether that's physical, mental, with our tools, having a plan going into the day. Additionally, being sure to be able to take feedback, to take ownership, accountability for whatever they come across, whether it's something good they do or if they mess up. Just being out front, saying why you did what you did, and being willing to learn and grow and move forward from that.
Tell us about your role in the SWAT team, being a tactical operator. What does that mean, and how do you get involved in those cases?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had the great opportunity and privilege to be able to train and be selected for the team. And I'm still a very new operator, so I'm learning every single day a lot. And there's a lot of times where there's failures and need to take accountability and learn and move forward with that. But basically serving in whichever role for the tactical side of the team, whether it's a high-risk warrant or a call-out, and wherever I'm needed, able to help provide for my teammates and support them in any way.
So you get in the fray every once in a while. There are those times, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Every once in a while, but it's always done with professionalism, safety, and a lot of planning, as Lieutenant Christensen can absolutely attest to.
Yeah, good. Well, Chief Zabolski, I want to ask you a little bit about Ian. And first of all, if I ever need a host to fill in on my radio show, this guy's a great communicator.
I think he's a natural.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. So tell us, we read all the biography and all the information on paper, but just speaking from the heart, what does this man mean to your team?
Well, and Ian's obviously very humble, but the work that he does, his team, but he's a big part of that, is really at the core of our department, right? And as he spoke about the training, so if we don't have good training, if we aren't giving the most up-to-date training, techniques, equipment, all that kind of stuff to our personnel, and when they come into our academy, they're fresh sponges. So we've got all this opportunity to form them into the officer, the culture that we want to continue to grow at the Fargo Police Department. Ian's work has a large part to do with that. He gravitates really towards that leadership, mentorship, developing personnel kind of thing. And so while you don't see him out there on the street every day, he has a huge effect on our department and on the folks that are out there taking those calls. So I think he's a very trusted and relied upon source within the department for all of those things, and we're just really happy to have him.
Yeah. How's it going for your team out in the community right now? What are some of the things that your people are dealing with, and how's it going out in the streets of Fargo?
Well, overall, it's actually going very well. We're still busy as always, but we've been able to take some large bites out of a lot of our crime issues going forward. We're We've got a recruit class that'll be graduating here in about a week and a half. We've got another recruit class starting in June. So again, the training and development team and their recruitment efforts continue to give us quality candidates that we can continue to put out on the streets. And so that's a big piece, and then training those new officers going forward. So that's really our big focus for this year.
Are you able to keep up with the needs and fill the gaps that you have pretty well?
We've made significant progress, yeah, and I think as we go through this year, our intention, of course, is to grow beyond that so that we can increase the staffing and make sure we've got enough people here to effectively serve the community. We've got a lot of applicants, and so we have a lot of interest, and yeah, I'm very confident we're going to reach that gap and go over that, I think, as well, which is great.
What a blessing. I know a lot of people in your position in other agencies are really struggling with that part of it, and so that's great to hear.
Yeah, well, and it's a constant battle, right? We haven't mastered it, but we've made significant progress, and so I feel very good about where we're going with recruitment, retention, and really the value of the training that above and beyond training course that Ian helped put together is what helps retain cops that have been out there for a while. We got this really group of really young cops that needs the basics and has to be mentored a little bit more. But you've got people that have got experience on the street, and they need a little more than the basic training. So the ability to give them that, I think, is another benefit of working at our department.
So many people in this community care so much about you all and what you do, and we remember like it was just yesterday the tragic events back in July that took the life of Officer Ian. How is your team doing? How is their heart and soul and their spirit moving past now? I guess it's been, 8-9 months after that, but it still seems, I'm sure, very fresh to you and us as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that anyone forgets, obviously. I think we're making exceptional progress in terms of transitioning forward, and we've got our DC trip coming up next month, where we'll take a large team out to DC, honor Jake, get to go to the candlelight vigil and see the wall with his name on it. So I think that's a significant piece in that process as well. And along with the wellness things that you've already talked about, continuing to expand that is also a big piece of how our department gets through that, and we keep people functional. We gotta mourn and we gotta remember, but we also have to go forward and perform our job.
Well, thanks for your leadership.
Thank you.
Thanks for getting us all together today and for all the great work that you and your team do in our community. We can't thank you. Words right there. Luther Family Ford is also donating a $100 gift card for services here at Luther Ford, and Ian said that he's going to be thinking about who that might be best paid forward to, so that'll be a blessing to somebody in the community in the days ahead as well. Sandy's Donuts also saying their thanks. We'll be delivering some goodies to the Fargo Police Department and here at Luther Family Ford as well. We have an honoree section on our website, am1100theflag.com. I'd invite you to check that out when you have an opportunity to read more about Ian and all the other honorees we've seen in this program now going back 7 or 8 years. It's been a little while since we've been doing this. And in the days ahead, we'll be inviting Ian to join us on the Need to Know Morning Show with Alex and Kevin on AM 1100 and FM 92.3. The last thing I always like to say is that at our company, when law enforcement has to take action and it makes the news, we give benefit of the doubt to the men and women who go through that training and do that work because we know how well prepared they are and how serious they take that. And we can only think back to the events of last July to see the training and how the officers responded in ways that none of us could really imagine how we would handle ourselves under that fire. So we appreciate that, and we'll always give that benefit of the doubt to the men and women of the Fargo Police Department and other law enforcement people in our community as well. With that will conclude today's ceremony, but before we take a picture here, let's give one more hand to our honoree today, Ian Kristan from the Fargo PD. And we'll see you back here next time on AM1100theflag.com. Take care.